Jesus Christ,
And
I'm minding my own
Auto.
shit, and then these pirates just show up out of nowhere, thinking they hot shit, thinking their parents love them. They don't. Get out of here. Oh yeah, that's right. My freaking ship is disgusting. I forgot about that. It just does disrespectful amounts of damage. Got nothing. Get out of here. Get out of here. Let's make this a thing. What should we talk about? There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. What are we interested in?
Yeah,
What do we care about today?
I'm having fun fiddling with the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You just got a PlayStation 5. Brand spanking new, right? You didn't like.
Yep.
No. What did you decide, the disc or the no disc?
Well, I wanted the no disc, but no Walmarts within reasonable driving distance from me have one that's no disc, so I got the one with the disc.
Well, at least that means that I could let you borrow some games. I got some PlayStation 4 games that I haven't fucking touched.
I did buy the year of premium, which I think was like $150 or so.
Yeah, something along those lines.
And but I feel like it's a good value considering like all of the games that you get with it. So as long as I play enough games that would equal that value within the year, it's worth the money. So like I've already beaten Miles Morales, and that's like what, a $50 game or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with inflation, everything's ballparking 60, going to 70, and complete separate topic. A lot of people are speculating that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be like $150.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. And based off of what, like, when I did my, like, dive, and since no one's, like, been in the comments, like, mentioning, hey, like, different information, your information's not valid or whatever, based off of what I came across in that one article about how the sheer amount of budget going into development in comparison to, like, the top running games or whatever. So, like, I think Grand Theft Auto 5 was, like, had, like, 276 or close to 500. No, yeah, I think it was $276,000 of development. I think Cyberpunk was, like, in the 270, 300 range. And then, like, Star Citizen ended up, like, racking up to, like, 500, or I keep saying 1,000. These are 500, or these would, like, 200 to 500 million dollars of development. And then based off of what I had found, Grand Theft Auto 6 is theorized to have $1 billion in development. This would be the first game to ever have a development of that price point.
$1 billion.
My
1 billion yen.
Yeah. My thought on this is, like, would this even enter this generation of games? I mean, yeah,
Maybe.
sure, it just came out, but, or, like, I mean, like, this gen was 2019, and then COVID happened, so, like, it was very hard for this gen to, like, release on time, but we're already looking at technically like a 4-year-old generation. It just doesn't feel that way because most people ended up getting this console within the past couple of years.
I don't know that we're going to get a Pro, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, I don't know what sort of nuanced things they plan on doing with the Series X. I just know that there was talk about them making it a cylinder. So
Yeah,
like,
uh, I just mean like PlayStation specifically. Like I don't really know if we're going to get variations because they've already changed up the build. They've
I'm
already
I'm
they've already made they've already made parts of the motherboard smaller. They just
mhm.
packaged it in the same casing that they've been doing since launch.
Oh, okay. So what you're thinking is like it would just be, the subtle changes as they manufacture it.
Yeah, like
Gotcha.
they've already cut down the motherboard size a little
Mhm.
bit, and I don't know if we'll get slims or pros this time
I'm
around.
100%. I would be baffled if we got a slim. I would be absolutely baffled if we got a slim because if you ask me, that's the no disc version. It
Yeah,
like to me, it
and
really is. Like,
and Xbox has kind of already said that the Series S, which is their
yeah,
no disc version,
yeah,
is the slim,
yeah.
is
That would
their
be the
slim.
yeah. That makes absolute sense. Yeah, I would be absolutely surprised if they actually bothered. Because the big thing about, if you ask me, the big thing about a slim would be um like usually the track record of the slim, the big thing that you're sacrificing is you're sacrificing price point for less space. But based on the size a lot of games are, I would be surprised if like they could even do like, what is it, like a, I mean, like, I think the 5 base is rocking a terabyte, so I would be surprised if they would put out a 500 gig um 5, because how many games are you gonna really get on there? 5? I mean, a
I
good
don't
chunk
know.
of games get like borderline between 50 to 100 gigs now.
Yeah,
It almost kind of feels like um we're going back to the old memory card days of having like an 8 megabyte memory card.
Xbox very much did that.
Yeah.
You have to buy their proprietary um hard drive
Hmm.
expansion that is still SSD, but it's
Yeah.
their design and it's a proprietary thing, and it is just a memory card that you slot in the back.
So
PS5 allows you to throw in whatever
yeah,
M2 that you want as long as it's compatible,
yeah,
but
you just
Xbox you have to
format.
use their memory card.
Yeah,
So like you're right, it is like that.
yeah, they did make it to where you could easily add additional SSDs internally to the 5. I did learn about that. I haven't done it yet because like I'd still be looking at a several $100 purchase for an internal one. It is more convenient because it doesn't occupy like USB space, but like I do have like a USB Type C port that I don't touch. So if I just get an SSD that does that, because I recently got a SSD for an external one for my laptop to play Starfield on, and it also has Minecraft on it, I think. I do think like if you were going off of like more previous gens, like you could easily like most of the like you could get like probably maybe a 4 terabyte hard drive, external or whatever, and like anything before like this generation, you could probably rack up a very big video game library just housed on that. But where we're going now, you're probably looking at like not even half that size. And what kind of sucks is like, I don't even think they need as much space as these things are claiming is required. How do I best explain it? It's just like when like they come out with a game and let's say it's like 100, it's like 100 gigs to download or whatever. But then they're like, oh, we feel bad that everybody has to download like 100 gigs of space. And like then they just put in that extra amount of work, and then all of a sudden the space required to have the game downloaded is like cut in half. And half the time they add more features during that process too.
Something game developers have always been incredibly bad at is optimizing how much data they're using.
Mm-hmm.
But we're constantly getting better, but like we never get it exactly right. For example, this is an old ass example, but Pokemon Gen 2, that data was so poorly optimized originally that they couldn't fit all of what they wanted in there, so they outsourced and got somebody to help them out. And by the time that guy was done, they could fit all of Kanto in there too.
Okay, I see. So like when we had like silver, gold, and then crystal, like I think like maybe 2 years later or a year later or whatever. And crystal did a lot of like what Pokemon Yellow did, and like, you know, the combination of like features of corresponding games, but they also added, you know, the first additional gender. Like they gave you a new beginning option.
Right. But yeah, like, and then like another example of a dramatic change in data optimization is The Witcher 3.
Okay.
They managed to get that small enough to where you could play it on the Switch. And I'm not sure what that game. I mean, I could look it up real quick. I'm not sure what that game. How much storage it took up originally. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, while you're doing that, that's another like can of worms, if you ask me, is the Switch, because the Switch has the most potential, because like Nintendo has always been like leading the charge in terms of like mobile consoles. Like the other ones have tried, it just doesn't feel the same. And Switch was fantastic, but it's like a lot of the internal stuff, it's too limited. So there's too many issues that, like, in terms of actually being able to run, you know, the games that it's allegedly should be able to run. You'll have a lot of frame rate issues and stuff like that relatively quickly. Yeah. And I think that this could easily be avoided if they actually put in, you know, I mean, chances are we would be looking at a maybe $100 more expensive system. But based off of what I've seen, when companies make dedicated gaming phones, I am baffled at the idea that the Switch, because of its size, would be too small to be able to run the games it claims to be able to run at relatively fast, like, you know, frame rate, relatively decent graphics. I mean, it's not even like we're expecting the world out of the Switch, because like ultimately it's that sacrifice that you're willing to make for its portability.
Yeah. So first, like, if you were going to install The Witcher 3 on Steam, it's saying that it wants you to have 50 gigabytes available, and but they've got it down to 32 gigs.
Yeah, like,
which is still essentially the entirety of the Nintendo Switch's internal hard drive.
Yeah.
But still, they were able to get it down and to be able to play it on the Switch.
Yeah, actually, that would have been like a good one to like to have seen. So is that actually like an official release, or is that like someone went out of their way to try to see if they could get Witcher 3 to run on the Switch?
That's an official release.
It's an official release. So
yeah, you could go out and buy a copy of The Witcher 3 for the Nintendo Switch.
So like, in terms of like, have you gotten that, or have you seen it run on the Switch?
No, I've never witnessed it myself. No.
If I were like, I don't. It's like I. I feel like I'm throwing shade, but yeah, I would put money on the idea of that being one of those games that just kind of have like the lackluster performance. Because when I've seen a couple of issues with what like Pokemon like Scarlet and Violet, just
Oh my
nothing to
god, that
like really stress out about. But then I played what was it J-Star Jump Force, whatever that was, the where like the anime characters beat each other up or whatever. um
mm-hmm.
that thing runs like I'm trying to like run run something on it, like one of my older computers. And the worst part is, not only does it like have like such a choppy like frame rate, it also has like, what is it? It doesn't look that great. And usually, like if I were like, for example, if I were to get like my phone and like if I were to like watch a video in like 720, that would probably be like the perfect, like I could probably even watch something at like 480, and those would be good like resolutions for my phone because of the tiny screen. I mean, like, yeah, it'd be fantastic to go higher and higher. It always is, but like those would still be good enough. Whereas like when I was watching that game, or when I was trying to play that game, like it just looked like a like kind of like a pixel mess. And like it made me want, like, if I were to play it, I wanted to play it like on my like console, just because of the fact that like it just looked better and like ran smoother and stuff like that. And normally I wouldn't judge like I wouldn't judge it like as hard as I have been, but if it wasn't for the fact that I know that they could do better but like kind of chose not to, that's the part that like it kind of sucks, because they made like the executive decision to make it like kind of sucky. That being said, I would I'm kind of excited to see what like the next like thing they toss out is going to be. I think I I think Sony's thinking about doing something again. Like I heard of one thing and I saw something else. So like I heard of them thinking about doing another portable system again. You know.
Oh yeah, it's already a thing.
Yeah. And then there was the something else that I saw, which was like their like remote play controller thing.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
what it is.
is that what that is
It's a
that what that's
remote play
going to be?
controller.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was the thing, or if it was going to be, if that was just what they're doing now and then they still had something else planned. Okay, so yeah, with
I haven't looked into it
yeah.
a whole lot yet, but the way it sounds like it's pretty like similar to the Wii U gamepad, because you still have to have a PS5.
Yeah.
I don't know if like I don't know if it has like data capabilities to where like if you took it somewhere with Wi-Fi you could play it remotely. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But like the way it was kind of explained to me is that it's similar to the Wii U gamepad. I mean, I guess we can look it up real quick in a second, but to see what its features actually all are. But that's the vibe I got from it.
Yeah, it just and like I guess I mean, like, that's probably the best way for, or the best route for them to go, to be honest, instead of to try to do something all over again. Because, like, clearly what their, like, intended idea and they're what their intentions are, and like whether or not they could actually like deliver on those intentions just seem like a little bit further apart. That being said, I still have the general dream of one day the collab conglomerate of Nintendo Sony eventually existing, and how awesome that would be. But I also want them to like if they were to do it, I want them to like still throw shade at each other, kind of like how Twix did that left and right Twix thing. I think it would be funny to see like that, but like that's a dream. That's just a personal dream that I have, to where I just think like because like that's what I think both of them could do to like be a real competitor to Xbox. Because
Okay, so
go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt you, but like
No,
I
you're
found
fine. You're fine.
what exactly this is. So they're using very specific wording right here. So like I'm on the official PlayStation Store looking at the features for this PlayStation Portal, and it's so this little section right here is called. It says that the title for the paragraph is "No TV needed to play and no living room required." And okay, so here's where it's saying, since PlayStation Portal Remote Player lets you stream games over your home Wi-Fi, you can play your PS5 console even when somebody else is using the TV it's connected to. Simply turn on the PlayStation Portal Remote Player and you're good to go. When PlayStation Portal Remote Player is on your home Wi-Fi connection, you have more flexibility to play in any room where you live with no TV. Would you like to keep playing while you're in the kitchen eating breakfast? Go for it. So yes, this is basically a Wii U gamepad for the PS5.
That's not. Yeah, that's not them. That's not them tackling. That's not. That is. Oh my god. That's not them tackling. Like an actual portable solution. That is just them tackling like that's not a portable console solution. That's a portable monitor solution within the limited scope of your house, because it probably needs to connect to the Wi-Fi that your PlayStation's connected to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which makes no sense why anybody would buy this thing, because with everybody's got a decent smartphone these days. There's not very many people out there rocking, the $60 smartphone. I can I have an iPhone 12, and I can use PlayStation Remote Play on it, and it runs perfectly fine. And I could take that with me. And I just bring a controller with me, Bluetooth it to my phone, I'm good to go. So why is anybody going to want to buy this piece of shit when it's locked to your house?
Like, there is... This is a solution that, like, I do think solves, like, kind of the issue for, like, some people. Because there are, like, some people out there that have, like, the big families, and then, like, as a family, they have, like, the one console and, like, the one TV, and they just need to share all these things. And, like, I get it on that level, but I don't know if, like... I don't know if that's, like... What is it, I don't know if there's a big enough target audience for something like that. Well...
No, it's very niche. It's incredibly niche.
And even if there was, the biggest issue is the price point. I don't know how much.
Yeah, I think it's like $200.
Yeah, that's way too much, because like you could just get another TV.
Yeah.
You can always just get another TV. That solves that problem. It might be a different story if, like, they're wanting to, like, they're wanting to do streaming on the PlayStation and it's connected to the TV, and then you're able to do the remote play and play a game while the PlayStation is streaming something. It might be a different story if that's the case.
Like all this really is they took a PlayStation controller, cut it in half, put a screen on it, and like, here, there you go.
Yeah.
Now you can play your PS5. Give me $200.
Yeah. It's unfortunately, the better solution would just be to just get another TV. That would probably solve your problem.
I guess, like, if you're like me and you really appreciate the DualSense haptic feedbacks and stuff, I mean, this is a good solution for that, I guess. Your family's using the TV, you want to play PlayStation.
Yeah.
But you want to experience the haptic controls and stuff. I guess that. But I don't, as much as I love those features, I don't think there's as many games out there that support it to justify buying a $200 controller, because that's what it is. It's a $200 controller.
Yep. That's pretty much how you're best looking at it. You're either looking, because it's not even like a really tiny $200 TV, because it's just going to be limited to the one experience that you would be able to have with it. So, like, at least with a TV, you would be able to hook it up to an assortment of different devices and stuff like that. But this is going back earlier, or to what I was mentioning just before you looked up the information to this. What is it? It would just be so much better if Nintendo and PlayStation or Sony just settled their differences and made collab consoles together. They could go off of Sony's console making stuff and then go off of Nintendo's portable making stuff and then just interweave it, and it would just be so much cooler than this console war that was lost like so many years ago by the fact that, like, I think people are coming to the realization that the backwards compatibility concept idea to consoles is a joke, and it would just be better instead of, okay, so like, what would be a good, actually we could probably look it up. Let's look up when we'll do PlayStation, since I'd be talking about it. So I know that the 5 came out in 2019. When did the, what was it, when did the PS4 come out? It was like 2012, 13, 14? 13.
I don't remember.
Okay, so that was 2013. It came out, and then what is that? 6 years later? Yeah, 6 years later, the 4 came out. Or the 5 came out. My bad. So you're looking at let's say the idea of spending roughly $500-600 on a console, and that's gonna ballpark you some happiness for that, like, half decade. We'll say guaranteed $500. We'll do it that way. $500 for 5 years. That sounds fun. $600 for 6 years. Yeah. So we'll do it that way. Versus, I understand, like, the idea of, like, computers are really expensive. I get that on a concept, but you could probably get a really decent, like, pre-built. yeah, sure, you're not super dedicated. You could always build it yourself, but if you don't trust yourself with that, don't want to try to do the YouTube tutorials, whatever, you could probably get a good dedicated pre-built in the mid-range. Or actually, yeah, I would say this goes up to the low range to the mid-range, which would be $1,000 to $2,000.
Right.
And that's gonna probably last you multiple video game generations, with like console generations. If you were just looking at it as just being a dedicated gaming thing, but it's not. You're also able to do all kinds of internet and other program stuff. So it gives you the console features just tenfold. And in terms of backwards compatibility, it has been the champ of backwards compatibility in comparison to all of the consoles. Shoot, you want to play a PlayStation 1 game on your computer? You can. Like, the only thing that gives you any sort of hiccup is playing like Nintendo games. And that's just because Nintendo refuses to bend the knee. Like, so that, let's just be honest. It's like at least Sony will give like a peace offering to hold the PC overlord over until it'll leave it alone for like the next couple of years or whatever. But yeah, and then most of the like Nintendo stuff is like bootlegged in some way, shape, or form or whatever. It's pulled from like a third party or whatever, and like it is what it is in that aspect. But like the point being, you're just gonna be far happier if you just allow yourself to save up the money for a computer than drop money every 5 years, possibly more, for these like fleeting ideas of like, you know, the console wars.
This generation of consoles did a really good job with their price to performance. You cannot build a PC as powerful as a PS5 at that price point. You could get close. You could get close, but you can't do it.
Yeah, I think
Linus did it for like $600.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I think
it's close. But I feel like there's always going to be a use case for.
But actually, if you ask me, that's still like the PC still outweighs the console, because like in terms of performance, video game performance purely, yeah, sure, the console might reign supreme on that concept, but like the additional things you could do with a PC versus a console is just astronomical. Like, I'm not gonna I mean, yeah, sure, there's like streaming services now that go to my console, but like in terms of like running, you know, programs that aren't games, it's just kind of non-existent with consoles. In terms of searching the web, it now became a freaking chore to do it on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. I don't ever see a situation where a console is going to be as useful as a PC, but I still feel like they have their use cases, because
it's always convenient.
I just bought my I just bought my PS5. So and I have very specific things I'm going to do with it. And then I have an Xbox Series S that I have very specific things that I do with that. And then I have a Nintendo Switch because, like, you know, Nintendo's the console that you buy after you buy other stuff.
My thought process, like with Nintendo, is the exclusivity. Nintendo's
Yeah,
exclusivity is
yeah,
always champ because of the fact that it refuses to bend the knee to the PC overlords.
exactly. So, in my situation, I've been fortunate enough to be able to buy a PC within the last few years. So, like, I would guess if I had to like rank it
Mm-hmm.
by use, I use my PC more than anything else.
Yeah,
And the Xbox is more of an accessory to my PC than it
makes sense.
is dedicated for it's like because like I get Game Pass and there's some games that I don't care if I'm running it at max performance. I just want to sit on my couch and play a game.
Mm-hmm.
And also because of the way Game Pass works, me and Xavier are able to both have Game Pass with only one subscription because
Mm-hmm.
of the way we have it set up. So like the use case for my Xbox is just as an accessory to my PC to interact with my daughter more. And then I'll admit it, I've bought 3 Nintendo Switches in my life.
Yeah.
I bought one for myself. We bought one for my wife when I was married, and then Xavier has a Switch Lite. And then I picked up the PS5 specifically for their exclusive, which I know there's not many of them that are really worthwhile,
Mm-hmm.
but also, well, I didn't buy it for the controller. That was just a happy surprise. But
Mm-hmm.
the experience that you get with playing with all the haptic feedbacks and stuff with the PlayStation 5 controller is like more immersive than anything I've played on PC.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're looking for like my PS5 is for a more immersive experience. And chances are I'm probably not going to buy any games for it that don't have those features.
Valid.
Especially if I could just buy it on my PC anyway.
Yeah, like for me, my general direction, I think I'm gonna probably go. I could see myself getting like newer PlayStation consoles going in the future, and that's mainly because I've had such a like long stand with like Sony in general, to where like I have like such a predominant account. But like I'm probably not going to like get it as, I don't know, soon as it comes out esque as I did before. I mean, I pre-ordered the 4. I got the 5 during COVID somehow, and like I probably won't do that with like the 6. I probably will wait years after it's already been out, kind of thing, to where then I might even get like a used version if it means it cuts the price enough, kind of thing. And then my priority's probably going to be getting that dedicated gaming desktop, to where I have a computer that is about playing games on it. And then I have my laptop, which is just going to last me a very fucking long time. I can make the upgrades to it and everything, which will help it last even longer. And then once I stop, making it run as many games, because I'll have a PC that'll do that. That's just going to be that general direction. And then in terms of like Nintendo, that's probably going to be the thing that I will jump on a lot more, like when the new one comes out and stuff, because of that exclusivity, and because of like it's being like the portable champ that it is. I think that's going to be my general thought process going forward.
Also, now that I'm thinking about it, like I have use cases for my PS5 that aren't the same as my Xbox, but then it also has use cases that's the same as my Xbox because I am using it as an accessory for my PC, like as we're speaking right now. Like I'm just now thinking about that, and I'm like, right now I am talking to you on a PlayStation chat through my PC using remote play.
That's kind of what I think that my
While
PlayStation
I'm playing
became.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, I think that's what my PlayStation became. It became like, I'm kind like it. I think it always was it, but I never had a good enough computer. I've never had a good enough computer. I've always had like outdated computers, but I never had a good enough one until more recently. I wish I actually came up with the idea of getting a good laptop like I did like back when I left Job Corps in like 2015, 2016. I wish I had come up with the idea to do that then, because I probably would have had like a much better time. But it is what it is. I don't hate the laptop I got at all by any stretch. It's fantastic, and it's hard for me to make like big purchases like these. So like I just kind of wish I had the insight to do it at an earlier time. But the PlayStation just kind of became like its sole purpose was a gaming console, and its sole purpose is to just kind of do the gaming thing so my computer doesn't have to. But when I get a dedicated computer for it, I mean, that's just gonna be a game changer.
Yeah,
and
actually,
but
I could use my Nintendo Switch in tandem with my PC too, but I gave you my capture card.
Oh yeah, that's right. You needed that. I think you had like mentioned something to me about that like months ago, and I was supposed to. I have your mail. Oh my god, I've been meaning to fucking tell you that. Oh my god, I'm so terrible at remembering shit. Yeah, I don't even know what it is. But like it showed up at my house. I'm like, and then I was like, oh my god, he doesn't like. He's gone. It's like he don't live here anymore. He hasn't done that in years. Like
that's weird as fuck.
But yeah, I think that was about covers it. Whatever the fuck we just talked about.
Just about shit, man. Just about consoles and PCs, and kind of taking a dig at Sony because of their dumbass little fucking Wii U gamepad. That's what I'm choosing to call it from this point forward. I'm calling it the PlayStation U. Nobody could stop me.
Oh man,
that is what it is.
Absolutely. I'm so disappointed.
I am too. Like it would have been cool. Like and they could have done it because the PlayStation Remote Play app exists. You could do this on your phone. I could understand not having like cell data capabilities, but there is zero reason why you shouldn't be able to go anywhere where there's decent Wi-Fi with this thing and play your PlayStation. But in this little article, they specifically said home Wi-Fi connection twice in this paragraph.
Yeah. It's staying at your house.
It's not fucking going anywhere.
It's not. It's staying at your house. It actually reminds me of the. I don't remember.
You're
what
better
it was called.
off. You're better off spending if you want something like this. You're better off just buying a backbone for $100. They make PlayStation 5 versions of the backbone now, and just use your phone.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You save yourself $100 and you could take it with you.
Crazy. Simply crazy.